So you know where the problem is? People don't know how you make money as a hairdresser when they go to school. And then they get out of school and they say, oh, I thought when I got the license, people would just want me to do their hair and I'd make money. They have no idea they have to kind of build it themselves. They have to be likable. They have to be good at. I'm surprised at how many hairdressers, well, I'm not anymore, but I used to be surprised at how many become nurses. I started to see the difference is in a nursing field, you don't find your own clients. I remember when I was young and we were doing hair and we're trying to find the clients, had to be good to them, nice to them, reschedule them, sell them more, all the things you're talking about to make more and more money. And as I'm approaching the 20 and getting close into the $30 an hour thing, the girl next to me says, I'm going back to nursing school. I can immediately make $35 an hour. And I said, that is more than I'm making right now. But I saw the occasional hair extension job making me 100, 150 an hour, sometimes 200 an hour. And so I liked the all over the place and the thing like, well, if I do more of the thing that I like doing anyway, I can make way more than a nurse can. But some people don't want to do that thing. They don't have the business owner mentality. They don't want to be responsible for trying to get the clients. And so to me, they want to go, they need to work at more of like a chain salon where the chain does all the marketing, all the advertising, brings education, has a coordinator, and they schedule you. You just show up, customers are there, and you do them. Then hourly rate might be the thing for you because you don't want to do all. Is there some stupid comments coming through?
Yeah, you need a better doctor.
Well, I did go to the doctor one time. I think it was an earache. I'm not really sure. From flying a bunch and having the earbuds in, I don't think my ears were drying out enough, and I was getting some earaches. I started learning after a bath I have to not have those in for a little while because I was getting some earaches. And so I was dealing with flying and earaches for this 1 year when I was doing a lot of flying and teaching. And the doctor, he's taking notes and behind, he's like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm ask all of you little questions. And I was like, hair extensions. He goes, yeah, how is that? I said, well, we charge like this. I make like that. He stops writing and he goes, that's more than I make. I said, well, I know we use you guys as an example sometimes. It's like, if you do hair extensions, you can make more than a doctor. Now, we don't all do extensions all day, every day. As a doctor, you're making big money every single hour you're here. But again, they're not having to build their business. They come in as a second into a practice. And they're taking all the overflow. The other doctors have already done all the work of bringing the customers in. There's usually somebody retiring and giving them, or they go with a big group like Oshner, and Oshner fills their books. And so it's similar, right? So you have to realize ahead of time in today's world with social media and knowledge. I think a lot of young hairdressers going into school realize they're going to have to do it. They have to be a little bit more of a hustler. They have to get that business themselves. And so I don't think it's right or wrong necessarily what we're saying, but I think if somebody were to use this as a guide, like if you don't like talking to people, you don't like promoting yourself, you don't like the upsell of, hey, if we put a little highlight in with your color today, it could look better and it only costs us $30, $50, $80 more. Well, you and I know we just took the same hour and a half that we're going to be with this lady, and we just bumped our money up because we're not charging by the hour, charging by the service, and we're selling the service. But if you can't do all of that, well, you don't become a hairdresser, or you work in a salon that does all that other stuff for you, and you are just a laborer. In my opinion, I don't like it, so it's hard for me to talk good about it. But there's a lot of people that work at Supercuts, Master Cuts. There was a Regis at one point. I don't know if it's around anymore. A lot of Sports Clips, a lot of Fantastic Sam's. There's a lot of chain salons that have some very successful hairdressers, but they are kind of limited, like you say, because they're either working hourly or a strict commission, and they're not having to do the work to bring the clients back. But you know what's sad? They still have to do a decent job to keep their job. You still have to be pretty good.
You're working hard. I'm not saying anything
about you work hard.
The work coming out. They are working hard.
But if they do bad jobs, they get fired. So you still got to do decent to excellent work to keep your job, to keep your client. So you might as well do the route that we're talking about. That's why it's called the problem.
That's basically what I'm coming down to.